Today I'm going to be showing you from start to finish how I fully customized this synthetic T-part wig to make it just look more natural and wearable. Obviously these same steps would apply to a human hair wig, the only thing I wasn't able to do was bleach the knots. I always like to mold my hair back either with mousse or water because I find that it doesn't make the hair like greasy and stiff like if you use a wax stick. Right here I'm just pushing all the hair back and then I'm going to work on defining the part. Another thing you could have done before this point or at this point is removing the two front clips to make it lay flatter on the sides. I personally don't mind them, but it does help make it just a little bit flatter. So after you finish smoothing all the hair and defining your middle part, you're going to want to start separating which section of lace you actually have, if that makes sense. It is a very small amount, but you do still want to pluck as much as possible just to make it look even more natural. I like to think of it as me customizing a 2x6 closure. Since that's pretty much how much of the customized lace I'm going to show in the end part anyways, I don't like to do a full frontal look on T-part wigs because it's really hard to do any edges or just make the rest of the hairline look seamless. So here you can just see me pulling all the hair out on the front on both sides. This is honestly even a pretty small T-part. Some T-parts have a lot more lace than this. But even if it does have more lace, you still want to sort of customize it as if it's a closure just because it's easier that way. This is a little bit harder for me to explain, but you're going to want to just pluck that entire first section. Like the layer of hair on the lace that's right in front of the tracks, you're going to want to pretty much bald that entire row just to make it a little bit thinner. It might seem scary, but trust me, T-parts are very thick in the front, so you do want to take out as much hair back there as possible since that's as far back as you can go. If you're also working on a synthetic wig like I am, just be careful when you're pulling to not rip the lace because they usually have bigger knots that are really hard to pull out. In my opinion, it is a little bit harder to pluck on a synthetic wig, but it doesn't really take more time to customize versus a human hair wig since you save time by not bleaching the knots. Anyways, I'm just going to let you guys watch what I mean by plucking out that first layer because I do think it's easier to see than the way I explained it, so I'll just be silent until I get to the next part. Now on this middle part that goes farther back, you're going to do layers like you would in traditional plucking and just take it section by section and just go a little bit and pluck out. It's kind of hard to do the traditional pluck skip method with such little space, but you're just going to want to pluck it, then pull out a layer of hair to cover where you plucked, and then pluck it again and then pull out another layer of hair to cover it, if that makes sense. If it looks like I'm going over the same spot over and over again, I probably am because sometimes the hair will come up but the knot will still be there. It's very, very, very important to actually pull up the knot. If you aren't getting the knot, it's not going to look like you did anything at all. You're just going to be thinning the wig basically. Even if you decide to skip the sides at all, doing the front is definitely the most important part because that's what makes it look even just a little bit more natural instead of like a helmet. The goal, if you have enough space, would be to sort of pluck a widow's peak shape, but for me on this wig it was kind of hard to, but I did pluck as much as I possibly could. This video may seem like it's pretty long, but that's because it's not sped up at all because I want you guys to see in real time that it's actually pretty fast to do this. And just this little bit of 5 minutes and extra plucking and customizing will make a complete difference. And you can see right here how I'm kind of plucking more right there to make it a little bit balder on the side, to make it sort of like a widow's peak as much as I possibly can. And this is a close-up of me doing the other side if it didn't make sense the first time what I was trying to say about pulling out the hair closest to the track on the waist. It's going to be a lot of hair coming out. Don't be afraid of that because these frontals are very, very thick. Like I said before, it's not going to look like a big difference. And notice how I'm not even really plucking the ends. Like I'm just plucking in the front section as if it's a closure. I also forgot to mention that I plucked my middle part a little bit more to define it as much as possible. Definitely not necessary though. You could always just use concealer, but I feel like it just helps a little bit. Now when it comes to tinting the lace on a synthetic unit, you're going to want to use a cream-based makeup product. You can always use like a lace spray or lace mousse, but in my opinion, the cream-based one is better because you can kind of push it up underneath to sort of kind of cover the knots as if they were bleached. Now, once I'm fully done plucking, I do use a little bit of wax for the flyaways. I didn't fully customize this wig on the mannequin, but I did just flatten it out a little bit to make it easier when I'm installing it so that it's no hair in my face. And that's all I did. I'm finished customizing the wig. The next part I'm just going to be showing you guys me installing it. I already had a wig cap on from a previous install, but if you guys want to see how I do my bald caps, I can definitely show you that. The only thing I did so far was just cut the ear tabs and place the wig on my head. I love this kiss spray as a wig influencer because it has the perfect amount of hold for you to keep it on just for a day or two. So if you're someone that doesn't want your install to last like 2 weeks, just definitely get that instead of using glue. I just spray it directly on top and then put my wig band on, and then now I'm going to get into customizing the actual hair. Now I am a beginner and I really don't know how to layer too much, so this is just going to be how I do it. I'm not sure like the proper way to do it. I'm sure you can find a really in-depth tutorial on how to layer. So I like to start with some face framing layers directly underneath my nose, if that makes sense. Then I just drag it all the way down. This wig came pre-layered, so I didn't have to do much or really anything. I just wanted my curls to be super fluffy and big. I don't know if it makes sense, but I'm now going in like the mid part of the hair and just cutting in the same area. You just want to go farther towards the back of the hair and just cut at the same length that you cut the face framing layers so that the hair can be all the way layered. I don't like to do really deep layers because I do like the hair to still look nice when it's straight, and plus I don't really know how to do super deep layers, so I'm not sure if you can fully see the difference, but as I'm cutting you can kind of see the curls that are already there getting a little bit fluffier. But I just do this throughout the hair on both sides until I'm satisfied, and then I'm going to start curling. This is how much I cut off for reference, so it's only a little bit. Now when it comes to curling synthetic wigs, this is the only way I know how to do it, which is using a flat iron. Basically I curl it like regular, and then at this point where I would normally drop a human hair wig, I just roll it back up. With my hands, I kind of see how I just rolled it back up a little bit until it kind of cools for a second. If you want the curl to be tighter, just do more twist when you're pulling the flat iron, if that makes sense. Like the amount of times you twist your hand or like your wrist, I guess, determines how tight your curl is going to be. Like I only do it like 1 to 2 times when I'm curling it. My flat iron does not have a temperature dial on it, but if yours does, definitely go to the lowest temperature setting. I haven't had any problems with my hair like burning before, but definitely move as fast as possible while doing this. Don't be afraid to play with the hair and sort of move it in the direction that you want your curl to be. If you really wanted to, you could pin your curls, but synthetic hair holds curls really well, so it's not really needed. It's just up to you. After I finish curling all the hair, that's when I go in and cut my lace. I know a lot of people use razor combs, which I would definitely recommend to a beginner to get closer up, but I don't really mind using scissors. I've just accidentally cut myself one too many times with the razor, so I just prefer the scissors now, but it's definitely up to you. After I cut off all the lace, I just put a little bit more of the Kiss melting spray on my lace for the second melt. Now I'm just touching up the hair, pushing all the curls towards the front as if it was a closure and making it look less like a frontal, if that makes sense. I really only want the front part of the lace to be visible, so I'm just pushing all the hair up to cover the other sides of it. This is pretty much the finished look. You could leave it right here. I did do another style at the end of the video just to show you guys that you can still do versatile styling with the T-part wig. Low-key, looking back at the video, the two ponytails were cute, but I could have left it like that, but I didn't. Anyways, this is the end of my video. I hope this was very informative and helpful for you guys. Let me know what you would like to see next from me.